My next guest is a returning guest to the show, coming off a very impressive win on his UFC debut at UFC 203 against Lucius Soweski, and that is Mr. Marc Diakiese, who has a big fight coming up, a quick turnaround in New York, upstate New York, in Albany, against Frankie Perez. First of all, Marc, it's great to have you back on the show. How are you, my friend? How's all going? Obviously training very hard ahead of this fight.
All good, all good. Thanks for having me.
Brilliant stuff. Great to have you back on again, man. First of all, I want to touch back on your debut fight in the UFC. Is it more of a relief to get it out of the way because of the expectations and pressure that a lot of people had on you going into that fight?
Yeah. It's so, I've always said this, I don't have pressure on my back, but it's just nice to know, like, I've got that first win out of the way, and just moving forward, so looking to other things.
Definitely.
That's about it.
How did you assess that performance looking back on it now? Obviously the dust has settled a little bit. Were you pleased with it?
Well, I was pleased with it. I got the win, but there's a few things I did wrong in that fight. I rushed in a little bit, and I got taken down the way that I don't usually get taken down. And I know UFC fighters in my weight will be watching that and obviously assessing it, thinking I'm weak on ground, which I've been like constantly working on now for that main reason. But my boxing, I've just improved a lot more in my boxing as well.
Definitely. You look at that, I presume you're talking about the first round against Lucas. Yeah, it was. I've obviously seen you fight a number of times, and it was sort of, it's unlike you to get taken down that way, as you said. Was there maybe a little bit of nerves going into the octagon that night, making your debut?
No, you might call it nerves. I'm not sure what it is, but as soon as I go in that ring, I had that much support I didn't think I had. And I just wanted to just go for him. That's it. I just wanted to go for him and get the job done. That was it. I think that's what got me a little bit. But I didn't have the nerves or anything. I just wanted to go for him. But put a show for the fans. And obviously, I paid for it.
Definitely, yeah. He paid for it in the second round anyway when you got the finish. But going into that fight and the expectations around you, you're a guy who a lot of people are talking about. That's going to be a potential future champion at this moment. Does that frustrate you? Does that annoy you? Do you embrace that? How do you deal with it? Is it hard to stay grounded?
No, I'm always grounded. It doesn't bother me. I can say all that, but you gotta put it on the table. If you don't do it, then we can say it, but you gotta do it. So I just embrace it and just keep waiting. It's nice to know people who know what, like, obviously how far I can go with this sport. So it's just nice to get that a bit of extra motivation and keep pushing towards that gold. And that's what I'm doing. Just keep working hard and then stay grounded. Like, I don't really go out, This is me, just stay at home, train, come back home and relax, and that's about it. So it's good.
I wish I was like that. I wish I could be able to control myself from going out. I'm a bit hungover, as I said to you today, Mark, because my birthday last night. A few too many Guinness, but I'd like to have that sort of mindset that you have. Let's look at the upcoming fight, Frankie Perez. You've taken the fight. It's a really, really quick turnaround. Was that? Did you have to sit down with the team once you were offered that fight, or what was the thoughts on taking the fight so soon?
The main reason behind, obviously, I thought I came out injury free, and I felt like I didn't. I enjoyed that time in the ring. It felt different. So as long as I'm coming out like injury free every time, I'm going to step back in again because I'm just enjoying it now. It feels like this is what I'm meant to be doing now. So every time I come out injury free, I'm looking stepping back straight back in again.
I'm going to ask you a similar question to what I asked you in the media day over there in Manchester. You're a guy who I don't think people realise you're as good on the ground as you are, and you've only really sort of flourished in the stand-up in your last number of fights. And I see your Twitter, your social networks, everything. You seem to be really doing an awful lot of sparring on your feet. Is that sort of a compliment to your ability on the ground that you don't really have to work on that as much?
Don't worry, I can't share everything, can I?
but is that the thinking? Is it that you're so comfortable on the deck that you're working more in your stand up and making that even better than it already is?
No, I work in all aspects. I don't just pick and choose which one to do. I work in it all, but I just like to post more of my stand up really. But my ground is improving because ground is where people pick a little pieces together, say, oh, this is doing wrong. So we don't have to show it too much. We just show it on the day. So and that's main reason probably.
It's a smokescreen.
Yeah.
There's been a bit of shit talk between yourself and Frankie Perez. What's your thoughts on him as an opponent? He's a guy. A lot of people were very high on a couple of fights ago. He retired, I think, for a little time, and now he's back.
I've been talking.
Well, he was talking a bit. There was a bit of trash. You told him not.
He's tried, hasn't he? He's tried, bless him. Well, I respect him as an opponent. It seems to be alright, but I think it's a little bit. I don't like people because I do this for my life. I do this to better myself, and then I feel like he's comfortable where he is. He's just doing it for sort of a name, come back and thinking he can just get back in to start winning ways, thinking he can do it without, you know what I mean? Because this is my career, this is my living. He hasn't got a desire that I have, so to me, I take it very personal in that area. So I'm willing to go out there and show him that you gotta. This is not. If you gotta want it to be in it.
Do you think that you're already at an advantage because of that? Because I always say when a guy's thinking about retirement, it's never really a good sign for that fighter. I know he said it was because of financial reasons, etc., that he did pack it in. Do you feel as though you're an advantage already because of that reason?
I won't say that I don't feel as like an advantage, but I just know my ability. The way I'm feeling now, I know I've got a big advantage of going in and stopping him.
And the fact you're fighting, I believe this is your first fight across the waters, transatlantic, in the US. What's the plan there? Are you going to go out a little bit earlier? Do you see that as a problem?
Well, I'm flying out next week on the Sunday, then come back. Obviously, I'm fighting on Friday and come back on this Saturday, and that's about it. But like now, if you do it, usually this time I'll be in bed, but I'm trying to stay up a little late. A little
bit later, yeah. Similar to what maybe what happened in Manchester. I think you were on about 12:30, yeah.
Yeah.
So
that's about it, really. But nothing else changed. It's all the same, really, to be honest.
Two very highly touted young fighters, yourself and Frankie Perez.
He's not young.
Well, he's 27. I'm older than that, so it's young to me. All right. You're 23. Is this the fight? You said you want to go after the titles quickly. You want to get those guys that are in the rankings. Is this the fight that gives you a guy that's going to be in the rankings next time out if you win this?
Well, I've got my eyes set on certain people. After this, I'm looking to. As soon as I get this win, I'm looking to call a few names out.
You can call them out here. Come on. Who are those names? Who you after, Mark?
Let's get out. This one out of the way.
Okay.
Then I'll be calling a few names out. I'll be ready for them.
You will. Do you think that, we had a guy last weekend, and a guy I've been very impressed with over the last number of fights is Mr. Kevin Lee. He's a kind of guy, I spoke to him after, I'm going to be speaking with him again tomorrow. He's a guy that's sort of selling himself, promoting himself, calling out names, and he's doing it on purpose, and I respect that. I think, a lot of the guys, there's not enough guys doing it. Is that a very important part of the fight game, in your opinion, for you?
Well, that's good on him. That's what he chose to do. My approach is different, and we'll keep as it is. One step at a time. I'll get this out of the way. Straight away I know what to call next. I'm not calling out just because I want to call. You know what I mean? Because there's not. You won't be getting the fights that you're gonna call anyway. So I'm making sure by my performance, these fights I'm calling out, they are gonna give me it. So that's all I'm doing.
What are we gonna see? Are we gonna see a brutal, bone-crushing display from Marc Diakiese in a couple of weeks' time? How's it going to pan out?
That's what we're going for.
You want the knockout?
Yeah, I want the knockout. Honestly, I think I'm a little bit obsessed with knockouts now. I just want to finish fights.
It's a smoke screen, guys. It's a smoke screen.
Yeah, I just want to finish.
Ease other tills. I believe you're watching a bit of American Horror Story. How was it? Was it good?
I've just started it. It's a bit annoying already. So,
are you going to create your own American Horror Story for Frankie Perez?
It's so scary. Why would you go in a room when you see it seems to be scary? Why would you go in?
That's true.
You go out in it. You go the other way. But they seem to go in.
I presume you're planning on an American Horror Story for Frankie Perez, yeah?
No, you'll get a different one. He'll get the dark side.
Mark, It's a fight I'm very much looking forward to in a couple of weeks' time, and I know everyone over this side of the pond is. I really do appreciate the time as always. It's always good to catch up with you and chat to you, mate. Best of luck in Albany and New York in a couple of weeks' time. Do appreciate the time.
Thank you.